Hello, and welcome back to yet another video. Today we're inside the AMG C63s E-Performance Carbon Black, the brand new, not really so new AMG that doesn't have the V8, unfortunately. And this car has been very controversial, has been getting quite a bit of hate online and all over the place because it's missing the V8 and the big boy C63. However, today I'm going to try to take you around, drive it, see how it feels, tell you my thoughts about it, and of course show you around the car because this is what we do here. As you can see, the interior is quite a lovely place to be here, but we'll come back to that later. Let me just pop outside and show you the exterior, the carbon bits and all that stuff, and then take it for a ride. So let's just pop out. And this is the car from the outside. It's in a lovely silver metallic situation. It looks really, really good, this color. There's the beauty. You've got the hood vent, which is functional. The cooler is running because I drove it on the way here, and I drove it fairly fun, fairly fast, fairly fun. It's got the afterback badge, of course, the AMG. It's got the laser lights, 20-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss. I'm sorry about the noise, there's a road right there. It's got big boy brakes in the front. As you can see, turbo E-Performance, which is the EV motor. And yeah, the exterior package on this car is really good. It's got carbon bits all over the place. It's got the carbon black package. It's got this carbon bit. It's got the carbon diffuser situation going on here. It's got the carbon side skirts, carbon mirrors. I believe in the front as well, it's got the carbon splitter. No, that is just a normal splitter and canards, whatever, black accents. Yeah, it is a lovely looking thing, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do wish they made this in a coupe variant as well, but we got the CLE now, so I'm not too mad about it. We're on the back. Here's the rear view. Hopefully the cars are not making too much of a problem with the microphone. The C63S, the red surrounding around the badge. So this is as fast and as good as it gets. It's the big dog out there. It's got 670 horsepower and 730 foot-pounds of torque, something like that. It delivers the power, honestly. It really does deliver. Boot space is good. It's full of random stuff in here, but it's good. It's just normal saloon type boot space. However, there is a little bit of a problem with it as the battery sits in the rear and there's a slight hump in the boot. Around the back, nice looking interior here. Let me jump in. There is enough space in here. However, if you're over 6 foot, you might struggle. I am 6 foot bang on, and I mean, I'll survive here. My head is kind of hitting the roof because this roof obviously has got a sloping line, but I'll survive. I mean, if I scoot down a little bit, it'll be all right. I mean, that's fine. It's a saloon. It's a smaller saloon. It's a C-Class, not an E-Class or S-Class. So it's fine, I can't complain too much. Obviously you got the armrest here, which is quite interesting. It's got two functions. So you got this one for your phone, I guess. Then if you press it again, you got the cup holders, which is pretty cool. Put that back down, back up. It's got the climate controls here. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can touch it. It's off right now, obviously, but you can adjust your temperature and whatnot here. And that is about it. In the back, obviously, it's got two sunroofs, I guess. It's sort of a panoramic. This slides open this way, and this slides open that way. And the one in the front actually raises up, and it can actually convert it. Just open it up. It's a full-on sunroof, not just a panel roof. And this is how the interior looks from the back here. Beautiful carbon trim. Got a bit of piano black here. I don't know why, but there's that. Piano black on the door, accessory panel there, whatever you want to call it, where the door handle and the seat controls are. Then you go carbon steering wheel, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful place to be. Let me just jump out and go to the front. Bit of a mission to get out from the rear. And yeah, here we are in the front. As I was saying, the piano black, silver trim here. Got the fuel cap button and the boot button. Obviously the window control, window switches. And these are the seats. Very, very supportive, very comfortable. You've got holes here, like the, reminds me of the F-Series M cars. And of course you got suede, Alcantara and leather. And then if I jump in, close the door so you can't hear the noise anymore. Jump in, obviously a beautiful, beautiful interior here. Nice steering wheel, chunky, just how I like it. Carbon trim, with a bit of silver. One thing I don't like about these new steering wheels is this situation here. Too many buttons and they're touch sensitive and all that stuff. Hope Mercedes will change this in the future so we can actually have physical buttons instead of this haptic nonsense. But without further ado, a good sound, decent. Obviously it's a 4-cylinder 2-liter, so it'll sound exactly like the A45 really. And mind you, there is quite a bit of noise being pumped in, I believe. This thing here, you can turn on and off, and I'm not sure if that's just a speaker or if the valve exhaust actually opens up and closes. I don't know what to tell you. However, I keep it on because it sounds decent. There's some sound in the cabin, and I don't mind it. I mean, it gives you enough feeling and enough excitement, to say the least. And yeah, let's just take it for a drive and talk more as we drive and see what this car is all about. All right, so we are now driving in the C63s E-Performance, and currently we're in comfort mode. The car is basically in a hybrid setting where it switches between the EV motor and the petrol. And right now it's super, super, super comfortable, just a cruiser. The suspension is nice and smooth. The steering is light. It's just a pleasure to be in here, to be honest with you. Obviously it's still a stiff chassis, so you will feel the bumps and undulations of the road. However, it doesn't get sent through your spine, if that makes sense. It's very comfortable. You can just cruise here. There's minimal wind noise. As I said, it's running the PS4S's, so decent tire, not a huge amount of road noise. It's a smooth tire, and it's got double glazed windows. It's a good place to be. And then if I switch this dial to the right, now I'm in race mode. And in race mode, the car unleashed itself, and we can just take it for a hoon. And I tell you what, it is bloody fast. This thing, even though it's getting a lot of hate because it is missing the V8 and whatnot, which I completely understand and I agree with. Mercedes should have stuck with a V8, especially in the C63. However, when it comes to performance, this thing is not playing around. And I say that in the most serious way.
Mercedes-Benz vehicles are renowned for their exceptional performance, offering a blend of power, efficiency, and advanced technology. From high-performance engines to innovative suspension systems, these cars deliver a dynamic driving experience. Did you know that some models also feature Mercedes 4MATIC all-wheel drive?
Shut up. There you go. That was so funny. Well, I guess the car started doing a pitch, so I guess there's that. That's hilarious. I guess I'll have to stop saying the name of the car, otherwise it'll activate. Oh man, the power in this thing is so mad. Yeah, and what I wanted to say was, It's lacking the V8, sure, but it does have 670 horsepower and 730 foot-pounds of torque. A lot of power. And the combination of the so quick. The combination of the EV motor filling in the gaps of the turbo lag, of the lack of power, of the crazy. It feels so good to drive as well. It's a fairly heavy car, like 2.3 tons, I believe. As I was saying, in terms of driving, this thing is really high up there. I mean, the car really does handle very well. I didn't want to like it because, you know, I'm a petrol head. I wanted a V8 in this car, and my expectations were quite low. I'm not gonna lie to you, they were quite low given the massive disapproval this car got online. However, taking away the pride of the V8 and all that stuff, and the homage, or whatever you want to call it, the lineage, taking that aside, this car drives really well. Genuinely, it drives so well. It's so planted. The front end is so sharp. You know exactly where the car is on the road, which is rare these days. Most cars are very numb. You don't know what's happening with them. You don't know which direction the car is going. But this thing, it's so sharp and so good. It feels, genuinely, having driven them almost back to back, dare I say, it feels better to drive than the GT63. Yes, I've said what I said. It does feel better to drive than the GT63. I don't even know how that's possible. It's so nimble. In terms of power and power delivery, it's good. All these new cars are ridiculously fast, so it doesn't even matter. The sound is whatever, it's pumped through the speakers anyway, no matter which car you get. But it's just such a good driving experience, which I didn't think was possible, given the weight and the lack of, so to speak, power and character. However, I'm finding myself really enjoying this experience, especially on a nice B-road like this, especially when you know the area, because I know this place like the back of my hand. It's just such a lovely thing. The brakes feel good. You do have a bit of regen braking, which initially, like, you can feel it in the very top, at the very top of the brake, maybe the first couple of centimeters. That's regen brake. Oh man, the power is just unreal. I'm telling you, that EV plus petrol 4-cylinder combination is quite something. It's got 450 or 470 horsepower. Do not quote me, some crazy number like that. I think it's 450 from the petrol engine, and then the rest all the way to 670 is filled in by the EV motor. And the way they work together is so seamless, you cannot really tell. And you might have noticed me, I'm keeping it in automatic mode. That's one of the drawbacks that I found with this car. The gearbox and engine combination, I don't know, they don't really work that well together. It's a weird one because, oh man, it's a weird one because the engine is working with the EV motor, right? So you would think there's no torque gaps. However, around the 4,500 RPM range, if you're in a manual and you're revving it from, I don't know, 3,000 upwards, you feel like a stop. Like, it feels like the car just stops for a split second, stops accelerating for a split second, then it picks up. And I think that's because the EV motor stops giving power, or enough power, around 4,500 RPM. However, the petrol engine kicks in properly around 5,000. Like 5,000 is peak power for it. So if I put it in manual, let me show you this, let me demonstrate to you. Keep an eye on the revs if you can see them. We're like 3,000 now. Actually, no, let me downshift. Third gear, power. There was a gap. When I shifted, there was a massive gap. So it wasn't just pulling the entire way. When I shifted, it went back to 4,500 or 5,000. After the gear shift, it was just like, doesn't have that constant power, which is a bit weird. However, if you keep it in automatic and you let it do its thing, first of all, it shifts really nicely. Like, knows exactly when to shift, and yeah, it's really good when you let it do its thing. And I do really enjoy the experience. I'm not saying you can't drive in a manual, by all means. However, I just find that it's a more pleasant experience to drive when it's in auto. I'm concentrating, so my brain turns off a little bit whenever we attack these corners. It's always good to be concentrated on the task at hand rather than on the talking. But yeah, it's just, I don't want to glaze it too much because I'm obviously still fairly new to the car. I've only had it for a couple of days now, but so far as an initial impression, this thing is just so good, so good. I'm enjoying this a lot, and the car is, it is good. I cannot fault it. It is very good, given the lack of the V8 and the lack of the soul, so to speak. It does make up in other areas. I mean, this is so dynamic, so good. Dare I say, and I might get some hate for this, dare I say, I like the way this drives more than the M3. And you all know I'm a BMW kind of guy, so that says a lot. However, I do prefer the way this drives compared to the G80 M3. Stock for stock, I mean. It feels sharper. Maybe because of the tires. Because I tell you what, the tires make a huge difference in the way a car drives. So maybe it's the tires, because every time I drove an M3, it had either like some Bridgestones or Dunlops or whatever. It's got the 4S's on it, and the 4S's are just unreal tires, and the 5S's as well. To be fair, I did drive an M2 with PS5S's on it, and that was really good. However, as of right now, this is such a lovely driving experience. It's up there. If it doesn't beat the M3, it's definitely neck and neck. It's good. It's really good. The only drawbacks I can spot in this car, well, when I say drawbacks, I'm nitpicking, and obviously I gotta find something negative about it. The interior build quality is okay. I mean, nothing like creaks or rattles or whatever. Well, no, nothing creaks when you touch it. Everything's quite sturdy. However, it does rattle. I'm not sure if it's something loose somewhere, but especially when you're in sport, you hear a lot of rattles, especially on the motorway. If you turn the music off and there's vibrations in the road, something vibrates somewhere. I'm not sure if it's within the steering wheel or somewhere in the dash, but there's a constant buzzing rattle situation, which for me really does piss me off, because I hate these kind of rattles in cars. However, besides that, the build quality is really good. I mean, no, there was a creak there, but central console, solid, everything just good. It's good enough. There, you can spot cost cuttings, I'm not gonna lie, and it's not the only car or the only brand, but what's going on here? There is no felt inside the cup holders, the door bins either. It's just a piece of plastic. So you can definitely see some cost cutting, which is not ideal for a car that is, I think, £97,000 base. This is probably like 110 with all the carbon black, carbon pack, all that jazz onto it. So over 100 grand for a C63, and it's a bit scratchy. Like, on, you know. Where's the Mercedes from back in the day where they had leather everywhere and just everything was plush? That is a bit of a disappointment for me, I'm not gonna lie. Mercedes, no. But yeah, besides that, the small inconvenience, the touch points are really good. Everything feels solid, especially the steering wheel. I really do like it. Alcantara wrapped with carbon. It's really, really nice. And yeah, this will be the C63s E-Performance. And I do hope you have enjoyed my little review, and you got a bit of information from my experience. And I do hope I will catch you in my next video. It might be with this car, it might be with some other car. And until then, have a good one and peace out.